What's your money story? You know, our money stories start from when we're very small, and they're largely based on what our parents believed about money and others that were close to us in our, religious surroundings or whatever culture, neighborhood, whatever that we grew up in. And our money story really impacts a lot of who we are and our perspective of the world. So, thinking about what your money story is can be a very liberating process. It can also be a little scary or a little challenging, right? When you realize that your money story really holds you back or gives you a very limited view of life and what's possible. I'm Brenda, Florida, life coach and lifestyle advisor, and we're going to talk about our money stories today. Not a topic I talk about a lot, although in the live lavishly, ideas that I love to talk about so much. If we're going to live lavishly, we've got to talk about it. Money impacts everything that we do. It's money and sex. Those are the two big things that people fight over, get divorced over, have relationship divides over, all kinds of things. So we don't consider anything off limits in the pursuit of living lavishly. So we're going to talk today about your money story. And one of the things that is really important to do as you consider this is think about the thoughts that you have around money. Do you think, money gives you happiness? Do you think that money gives you choices, freedom? Maybe money is stressful to you, or you feel like the more you have, the more responsibilities you're going to have, and it's really not even going to be worth it. Like, there are all kinds of crazy thoughts and ideas that come up around money. And so, like I often talk about in our videos, thoughts are not necessarily true. We think them. When we think them over and over and over, then we believe they're true, but it's just because it's a thought we've had over and over. It's not necessarily true. So I want you to really think about your various thoughts on money. Like, you might just jot down, either pause the video or do it when we're done here, the three top things that come to your mind when you think about money. And then really look at those and say, wow, ask that question, is it true? And then what would be, if it's a thought that's stressful to you, of course, if it's empowering, like money is freedom, that to me is empowering. Of course, you could also turn that on yourself. If you feel like you're not living in financial abundance right now, then you could be using that as sort of, like a backhanded insult. Well, yeah, money would make me free, but I don't have money, so I'm not free. Okay, so then the thought really is, without money, I don't have freedom. And whatever these stressful thoughts are that you have about money, I want you to look at them, and then I want you to flip it, right? We've talked about this before, so I want you to flip it to its opposite. How could that be the total opposite? So instead of without money, I have no freedom, how could without money, I have freedom be just as true? Well, the truth is, while money legitimately can provide a lot of choices and a lot of great things, freedom is very much a mental state. It's very much a feeling state. I could feel free and be confined physically, like maybe I'm ill and I can't leave my home or something like that, where most of us would say, well, she doesn't have any freedom. She can't even leave the house. But maybe in my own mind, I feel totally free because I can daydream and travel in my head anywhere I want to go and all of that. So whatever it is you're thinking, there's a way to turn that to something completely opposite that is so much more freeing and will open your thought process to just a completely different way to see something if you allow for it. So might it be a little preposterous? Maybe. But if you can skip over to the preposterous for a few minutes, it will help you come back and find something maybe more middle ground between this limiting belief that you have and preposterous, if there even is such a thing, right? So I would love for you to experiment with this and write down these 2 or 3 stressful thoughts that you have about money and realize how that creates a story. I'll share one of mine just to be real specific. I had this crazy thought that it took me a while to even realize that saving money was a sign of believing in scarcity. Now, I am a big believer in abundance, so I sort of reject, run away from, dismiss anything that makes me feel like it's promoting the concepts of scarcity. And it's funny, and I didn't realize this for many years, but in the back of or unconsciously, I guess is how I'll say that, not the back of my mind, but unconsciously, I had this idea that the only reason to save money was because you thought something bad was going to happen and you wouldn't have the money to, get yourself out of the pickle you're in or whatever. And so I've never been a big saver. And I suppose that's not surprising. Once I put that together, it was like, oh my gosh, all these years where I've never prioritized saving money, it's because I've associated saving money with a belief in scarcity. So it's a really interesting exercise to take these thoughts. So take a couple of yours, share anything you want with me in the comments. I would love to hear about it. I love coaching with people around these stories about money. And let me know how this is working for you. And if I can do something to help you, let me know. So I'm Brenda, Florida. Thanks for joining me today. And if you want more information about my work, or you want to sign up to be on my list to know, the first to know when I have programs and interesting things coming out, just hop on over to my website, brendaflorida.com. Thanks, everybody.